All right, so the last time you guys were here, we were installing the Wahoo Building Products Dry Joist Easy. We have completed that task, so this garage is now waterproof. And since then, we've added all of our trim pieces to that aluminum profile. And then we installed all of the TimberTech AZEK decking on top of the Dry Joist Easy. So we used Cortex driller screws. I think I actually have one on me. So this is a Cortex driller screw right here. It has a self-tapping head for steel and aluminum. It's a stainless steel screw and it's a star drive. Works with all their Cortex drive bits. These worked very well for us when we installed the decking. So we actually face screwed the decking and then Cortex plugged it. And then we put a accent strip right down the middle. We ran two 12-foot sections of decking, 12 by 23 feet. And we just have to finish Cortexing those up. We just finished that up yesterday. So now we have a full flat, and this deck is very flat compared to most decks we build because it's like there's a joist, because of this stuff is interlocking, it's like there's a joist every 6 inches on this frame. So it makes for a very flat deck, which I really like. Once that was done, we started adding our fascia boards and we got our first layer up. You can see the dark hickory color around the outside perimeter of the deck. So that the first layer is 3.5 inches and it covers up all of the Wahoo Building Products, the Dry Joist Easy, and all the trim that they sent. So the first layer covers that up, and then we've added a second layer of TimberTech AZEK multi-width, which is a 7.25 inch board in dark hickory. So it gives it a stepped look. So I call this a triple stack fascia. We're doing 3 different layers and 3 different thicknesses in 3 different locations on the deck to create a fascia board. It's a nice look. Instead of just having one solid wall of material, it kind of steps back. And since the deck's waterproof and the weather's gonna come in, it gives a chance for the water to drip off and not hit the side of the deck. So the top layer is out more than the layer behind it, and then the layer lower than that is behind that one as well. So it kind of makes it so it doesn't drip. So we're gonna get to a certain point on that, but then we need to switch gears again because we need to build a staircase and landing set over here to gain access to the backyard. And we cannot do that until we get the side fascia done on this side of the deck. So once we finish this side over here, then we're gonna switch gears and start building the staircase and the landing. So for now, we're just taping up some stuff that we think might be compromised in the future if we don't. Then we're gonna add a little layer of bladder material behind the lowest set because the fascia is going like this. There's a piece going horizontally, and then there's another piece going horizontally, and then we have such a wide gap still that we're gonna go vertical with our last layer, which means everywhere the 2 boards butt together, there's a compromised area for water that could get through. So we're putting a waterproof bladder behind that so that the water can drain off and not get to the materials on the inside of the garage. That's where we're at today, so follow along and see how far we get. Hey, do the same thing on the other side, but you don't have to use as thick, I don't think of, you probably could though. It won't hurt. No, it ain't gonna hurt.
No.
Screw patterns. Hey, I am gonna need some of those small screws. All right, so I'm installing some of the fascia. It's more like skirting that we're installing right now. Why are my screws all rusty, you ask? Well, this bucket of stainless steel screws was left out in the rain, and there was 4 or 5 Cortex bits sitting in the bucket. The Cortex bits are not stainless steel, they're just standard carbon steel. And the bucket got put away wet, probably we're in a rush or something, and then the bits rusted really bad. We took them all out the other day, and I don't know, there still might be one in here. And unfortunately, all of these screws, the color, it's the right color I need, but for some reason when all this rusting happened, and there's different grades of stainless steel, by the way, so this might be a 305 stainless steel instead of a 316 stainless steel, and it might rust a little bit easier. But because these bits were sitting in here for several months, oh, here we go. This one might have come with the box and it just wasn't removed. This caused this. So I'm just doing, oh, here's another one. Well, that one's really rusty. So unless you catch all that, then this might happen to you as well. So watch it. And then the heads of these screws aren't that great as far as paint goes. I'm installing them temporarily. Well, over here I'm installing them permanently because it's a good screw and it will work well with what we're doing. And it's never going to be seen because there's a staircase and landing going in right here. But once we get to the part where you're going to see the screws, we're only going to put 2 in just temporarily until I have new ones on the way. I think they're going to be dropped tomorrow sometime. So we'll probably use these temporarily just to get the boards in place. And then we'll come back and install the 2 good colored screws in. And then we'll pull the old ones out and then junk those and put all the right color. The reason for these is I have this screw in a longer version with the right color, but it's gonna it'll poke through the inside of the structure. It'll poke through our materials, and then there'll be sharp points sticking out every 2 to 3 inches together, and then every other 12 inches, and then 2 to 3 inches. There'll be a bunch of screw points, sharp screw points sticking through the wood. And we don't want that. It's a finished garage, so we're thinking, we're trying to be careful about how we install the parts to make sure that there's not a bunch of obstructions, because on a deck, if it's skirting and it's under a deck, I might decide, you know what, we'll just let the screws show because it's the right color, looks great, whatever. But sometimes you got to think about, well, what's it going to look like on the inside? And if I run a bunch of long screws and they poke through, then you've got 2 problems. Either leave it and paint it and hope they never poke themselves on it, or you try to use a grinder and grind them all down, but that usually leaves grinder burns on every single spot you have a screw. So either way, it's just better if you have the right product for the right application, and we do, it's on the way, we just don't have it yet, but I have these for temporarily right now, so we can at least get everything level, plumb, screwed in, and ready to go, and then we can make adjustments, pull the screws out that we don't want, which you might think, well, that's double the work, why don't you just wait? But for us to be able to get this landing built, I have to have this side of this skirting finished, complete, dried in, everything good to go before I can go to the next step. So that's what we're trying to do, is just get to a point where I can stop doing this and start framing up this landing and stairs for access, which we're kind of getting tired of using these ladders to climb up and down into the backyard where our tools are and stuff. So we're gonna continue doing that. And then we might go ahead and lay these up for, 20 feet just to have them in place. And then knowing we're coming back and putting in better screws in a day or 2. Well, look, I need a couple stairs and 3 feet. So I need about 5 or 6 feet is what I need. And then I can get started on framing the landing. I already measured it all out. I've already got them all graded. I've already got all the holes drilled. It's foolproof. As long as we're tight up against here. Yeah, pretty much. And the other thing is, see how it's like this? You're gonna put the top 2 screws in always first, and then you might get them a little tight, but you might not go all the way tight. You want to balance it. Yeah, you want to give it some balance. Okay. But again, I'm debating, because to really get them to look right, you got to probably put all 4 screws in, but we don't really want to do that, because you got to come back and pull them all out, and you got to do them one at a time. Yeah, you got the outside screws too, guys. Is that too fat of a pry bar? Oh, careful, because you can dent the board. Get it so you can get your spacer in there. Okay. Okay, that looks good. Yeah, knock it down, guys. I guess we're using this one. I don't know if this is gonna fit. Look out, Cal. Man, I kind of feel sorry for you guys having to carry this. Whew. Man, I can't believe how heavy this board is. Let's start attaching this. I always do the bottom one next.
Oh, okay.
To keep, because I'm holding the bottom in place. Basically, I'm holding it, and if you do the middle, sometimes the bottom moves still. So if you do the top, the bottom, and then the middle, kind of locks it all together. Good job following these lines. It's square, you know. So a foot. Yeah. I should have. I really should have thought that out more. Well, because I was just thinking I only need a landing so tall, so wide. If I would have taken another foot, though, I could have used the wall as support, and we could have put fasteners in it. I was thinking about maybe putting a screw or two just to kind of hold it in place, and then we got to put some. We're going to anchor it to the wall over here, and then with some. And how wide is this? 4 feet. So we need to put a. Yeah. Okay. So we'll put a about every 2 feet. But we'll kind of suspend it in the air first, and then we'll get these two installed. We're gonna use the same 1/2 inch. So we need a 1/2 inch bit and a roto hammer. I'll pull it. So actually, if you wanna, yeah. We could set this on the ground for now. It's gonna fit. It's probably not even gonna fit through the. Damn, I wish I would have made this bigger.
Ain't too late.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I could cut up a whole nother. I'd have to cut up a whole nother.
No, you ain't gonna do that. That's much of money.
I know.
I got it. Where you want it, on the ground?
For now, yeah. So, yeah. I guess I don't need to do any of that for now. Okay, go ahead and get a clamp under it. Flip it over. There you go. Do one over there. Okay, hook it around the bottom of the board. I know we're out of time, guys. We're just getting to setting the landing. Now I have to have this all done so I can get my framing inspection finalized, because the city inspector wouldn't final the framing on the deck until all the framing's done for the landing and the stairs. So we've shifted gears a little bit. We're gonna stop doing trim work so I can get this installed, the frame installed for the landing and the stairs, and then call the city and have them come out and inspect this to make sure it meets their code. And once that's done, then I can cover it up. So I'm not sure where we'll be at the point when I see you again, but please come back. Don't forget to click that subscribe button if you like this video, and check out those shorts and leave a comment on those as well, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for coming to our channel. I'm grateful and I appreciate each and every one of you. Have a great day.